If you're a coach and you're trying to figure out how to scale your coaching business, this video is going to show you exactly how to do that and avoid falling into the pitfalls that often come with scaling and growing your practice. I'm going to cover in this video the problems with scaling a coaching business that a lot of people run into, how to get around those problems, and a very simple 3-part growth strategy that pretty much always works. Coaching can be an ultra satisfying, lucrative, and fulfilling business. The problem is, though, sometimes coaching practices are difficult to grow and scale. Now, the reason for that is that when you're a coach, what you're often selling, especially at the beginning, is your time. You're selling your expertise one-on-one. You are working with an individual client to uncover their issues and challenges and help them work through that. Now, that's awesome work, but ultimately you're limited by how many hours you're willing to work a week. And so what often happens with coaches as they start to get better and better, as they start to become more in demand, their calendar fills up, which of course means that sometimes then they have to raise prices, and then their prices increase and increase. But there comes a point at which you really can't raise your prices much more, and you really don't want to add more hours to your schedule. You've hit a natural limit, and that limit is your hours and your time. And that's when it's time to grow and scale. The problem is that a lot of coaches believe that they are the source of the magic. In fact, that's what we've been taught to believe a lot of times by certification courses and all the things we learn, that the one-on-one coaching is the best and is the best way to get the outcomes that you want to get with people. Now, that's not necessarily true. I'm going to cover that in a minute when I share a little bit of my plan back there on my flip chart. But what I want to get across first and foremost is that there are ways for you to deliver your magic that aren't one-on-one. But the best strategy for growing and scaling a coaching business does actually start, in my personal opinion, with a strong one-on-one methodology. And so the way that we do that is we have to look at how are you getting the results you have. The solution to scaling a coaching business is to move away from you as the source of your magic and instead move into what is the structure that is the source of your magic. What is your methodology? What is your signature system or your signature process that you're using, sometimes consciously, sometimes subconsciously, to get outcomes with your client? Let me draw this for you back there. When we start working with clients, we often start one-on-one, like I said. In these one-on-one sessions, we start to get a sense of what is our methodology, and we can start to systemize. So in the beginning, you might hop on a call with a client and have these 3 basic questions that you're asking. And over time, you might find, wow, there's this 4th question that comes up a lot, or there's this thing that again and again and again, I find that when clients use this process or this system or this activity or this exercise, it really gets these outcomes. So you start to bring in here different processes. You bring in different activities, different questions, right? All the things that you do in these one-on-ones creates certain outcomes, right? That's the logical outcome or outgrowth of this process that you take people through. It gets to this outcome. And what we want to do is we want to turn this into some sort of signature system. All right, so in here, one-on-one, as we get better and better, in the beginning we might start with a lower price point, but as we start to generate greater and greater outcomes, this means that we start to charge more money. And once we get to a place where we're kind of charging our limit, we're kind of at the limit of where we want to be capacity-wise, and we're looking to grow, what we can do is take this signature system that we've developed together with the case studies, which we also call social proof, and we take all of this that we built, all of this intellectual property, and we can turn it into something new that's now a group model. So in the group, what you can do is you can still keep some of the one-on-one work you do, but some of these typical questions, processes, and activities will become part of the group model. So what we start to do is the group starts to, you do these activities together, you take them through these processes together, you do these questions as a group, and what you'll find and what's amazing about this is that there's energy and magic in the group that you could never have delivered one-on-one in this little tiny world. So this one-on-one that we used to think was the most powerful, most amazing thing, this just becomes one little element of this group model, and we're able to leverage our time because a lot of the work that we were doing in here is now part of this group methodology. And then what we do is we do it again. In the group, we start to observe what questions are we asking? What new exercises are we doing? What new processes and systems are we using? Pay attention. We create an even better system, right, with even better case studies and testimonials, and we turn it into an even bigger model. And we can do that by going online, or we can do that by training the trainer. Meaning we can get other people, by the way, a lot of times these people that came from our group can become coaches, can become trainers in our new methodology. So we start with this little tiny seed of the work that you do individually, and we start to grow it very organically, right? We're not pushing it. We're taking what's already here, we're growing that, then we're taking what's already here, we're growing that, and we're taking these people and we're growing that and using them, leveraging them, activating them into taking this work broader. So that's how you can grow and scale a coaching business. If you have any questions about this, I welcome your comments below. I'll do my best to answer them and or make a new video that answers your questions. And if this is the kind of work that you want to do and you want a coach like me who can help you do it, then go ahead and reach out, schedule time on my calendar. You can go to superstaractivator.com/go to either speak with me or with someone on my team. I look forward to meeting you.